Imagine this, a former royal, a duchess turned advocate, stepping into the bright lights of a daytime talk show. Meghan Markle, the woman who shook the foundations of the British monarchy, was about to promote her latest project, a memoir that promised to peel back even more layers of her extraordinary life. But nobody in that studio, not the audience, not the crew, and certainly not the host, Tamron Hall, could have predicted the storm that was brewing. This wasn't just an interview. It was about to become television history. Stick around because what happened next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about boundaries and the spotlight. The date was a crisp autumn afternoon in New York City, and the set of Tamron Hall buzzed with anticipation. The studio lights gleamed off the sleek, modern furniture, a circular couch arrangement designed for intimate conversations, surrounded by a live audience of about 200 people, mostly women in their 30s and 40s, clutching their phones and whispering excitedly. The air smelled faintly of fresh coffee from the green room and the subtle perfume of eager fans. Tamron Hall, the poised and probing host known for her sharp intellect and no-holds-barred questions, sat center stage in a tailored red blazer, her smile warm but her eyes keen. She had built her career on blending empathy with tough journalism, but today, something felt different. Meghan entered to thunderous applause, her elegant black dress hugging her figure, her hair in soft waves, exuding that signature blend of grace and grit. As Meghan settled onto the couch, the audience's cheers faded into a comfortable hum. Tamron leaned in, her voice smooth like velvet. "Meghan, welcome back to the show. Your new memoir, Archetypes Revisited, is already making waves. It's raw, it's honest. Tell us, what inspired you to dive even deeper into your story after everything you've shared?" Meghan smiled, her eyes lighting up. "Thank you, Tamron. It's about reclaiming narratives. After stepping away from royal life, I wanted to explore how women, especially women of color, are boxed into archetypes that don't serve us. This book is my way of breaking free and encouraging others to do the same." The conversation started light, with Tamron nodding appreciatively. The other panelists, two guest co-hosts, a lifestyle blogger named Lisa and a comedian called Marcus, chimed in with compliments. Lisa gushed about Meghan's philanthropy, while Marcus cracked a gentle joke about how even princes need therapy these days. The audience laughed, the vibe was friendly, almost celebratory. But if you've ever watched these shows, you know the calm before the storm is the most deceptive part. And here's your first hook: what if I told you that in just moments, a single question would shatter this harmony and expose raw nerves no one saw coming? Keep reading, you won't believe how quickly things escalated. As the segment progressed, Tamron steered toward Meghan's life post-royals. "You've been incredibly vocal about mental health, racism, and women's rights. But some critics say your move to California was more about Hollywood glamour than genuine activism. How do you respond to those who call it a convenient escape?" Meghan paused, her smile tightening just a fraction, a subtle shift, but the audience caught it. The studio lights seemed a tad brighter, the air a bit thicker. "I think it's important to separate perception from reality," she replied diplomatically. "Harry and I left for our family's safety and well-being. Our work with Archewell is proof that activism doesn't stop at borders, it's global." Tamron pressed on, her tone still professional but edging sharper. "Fair point. But let's talk about the memoir. You detail struggles with the media and the palace, yet you've partnered with major streaming services. Isn't there a hypocrisy there, criticizing institutions while profiting from similar ones?" The audience murmured, a mix of agreement and discomfort. Lisa shifted in her seat, trying to interject with a light comment. "Hey, everyone's gotta eat, right?" Marcus chuckled nervously, but it fell flat. Meghan's hands, clasped in her lap, tightened ever so slightly, those stiletto nails digging into her palms. Her voice remained steady, but there was a fire building. "Tamron, profit isn't the goal, impact is. If telling my story helps one person feel less alone, that's worth it." But Tamron wasn't letting go. She leaned forward, her eyes locking onto Meghan's. "Impact is key, absolutely. But what about the families you've left behind? Your father, Thomas, has spoken publicly about feeling abandoned. Is there room for reconciliation, or is that chapter closed for good? The studio fell into a hushed silence. A woman in the front row gasped audibly, her hand flying to her mouth. The cameras zoomed in, capturing every micro-expression, Meghan's jaw clenching, her eyes glistening with what could be unshed tears or restrained anger. The producers in the control room exchanged panicked glances, one whispering urgently into a headset. This was veering off script, and fast. Meghan took a deep breath, her voice trembling just enough to humanize her. My relationship with my father is private, Tamron. I've extended olive branches, but healing takes two. Bringing it up like this, it feels exploitative. Tamron held her ground, a flicker of something, ambition? Genuine curiosity, in her expression. We're here to have real conversations, Meghan. The public sees you as an icon of empowerment, but icons have flaws too. And there it was, the spark igniting the powder keg. The audience was split, some nodded in support of Tamron's boldness, others shot disapproving looks. Lisa tried to diffuse with, maybe we can pivot to the positive impacts of the book? But it was too late. The tension was palpable, like the hum of electricity before a blackout. Hook alert, just when you think Meghan might brush it off, a shocking revelation from her past gets dragged into the light, something Tamron unearthed that no one expected. What could it be, and how will Meghan respond? Don't stop now, the real fireworks are about to begin. And hey, if this drama has you hooked, smash that subscribe button so you never miss an update. We drop stories like this every week. The escalation hit like a wave. Tamron, sensing the ratings gold, doubled down. Speaking of flaws, in your book, you touch on mental health struggles during your time in the UK. But sources close to the palace have claimed you exaggerated those for sympathy. Is this memoir another layer of that narrative, or the unvarnished truth? The audience erupted in a low buzz, phones were out now, recording discreetly. Meghan's face flushed, her posture straightening like a queen reclaiming her throne. Tamron, that's not just inaccurate, it's harmful. I spoke my truth in the Oprah interview, and I'm doing it again here. Mental health isn't a tool for sympathy, it's a reality for millions. Stigmatizing it like this? That's the real issue. Marcus, the comedian, attempted humor to lighten the mood. Whoa, ladies, can we get a commercial break for some popcorn? This is intense. A few scattered laughs rippled through, but they died quickly under the weight of the moment. Lisa looked mortified, mouthing, sorry, toward Meghan. The control room was chaos, producers waving frantically at the stage manager, who hovered off camera like a shadow. The cameras captured it all, the subtle shake in Tamron's hand as she gripped her notes, Meghan's eyes darting to the exit as if calculating her next move. Interactive question for you. Have you ever been in a conversation that turned personal too fast? Who do you think is crossing the line here, Tamron for asking, or Meghan for dodging? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. But wait, here's the twist you didn't see coming. As Meghan composed herself, Tamron dropped a bombshell. We've actually spoken to a former staffer from Archwell who claims the work environment there mirrors the palace drama you fled. Care to address that? The studio froze. Absolute silence, broken only by the faint click of a camera shutter from the audience. Meghan's eyes widened, a mix of shock and fury. This wasn't just probing, this was an ambush. Will Meghan walk out, or unleash a speech that changes everything? The answer might surprise you, and it could redefine her legacy. Stay tuned for part 2, coming right up. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe now to catch the full explosion. The studio lights burned hotter, or so it seemed, as Meghan Markle sat frozen for a split second, her eyes locked on Tamron Hall. The bombshell accusation, a former Archwell staffer claiming a toxic work environment, hung in the air like a guillotine. The audience was a sea of wide eyes and hushed gasps, phones raised to capture every second of this unraveling drama. The hum of the cameras, the faint creak of the stage floor under a nervous stagehand, and the rapid breathing of the producers in the control room created a symphony of tension. Nobody expected Tamron to go this far, but she had, and now the world was watching. What would Meghan do next? Buckle up, because this moment is about to explode in ways that will leave you speechless. Meghan's hands unclenched, her fingers smoothing the fabric of her black dress as if grounding herself. Her voice, when she spoke, was low but razor-sharp, each word deliberate. Tamron, I'm disappointed. You've built a career on truth, but you're leaning on unverified gossip from a single source? That's not journalism, it's a setup. The audience erupted in a mix of gasps and scattered applause. A woman in the third row whispered to her friend, "She didn't just say that." The cameras swiveled, catching Tamron's fleeting flinch, a crack in her polished facade. The host leaned back, her smile tightening. "Meghan, we're here to ask the tough questions. If you're as transparent as you claim, why not address it? Is Archwell the safe haven you say it is?" The question landed like a jab. Lisa, the lifestyle blogger co-host, tried to intervene, her voice shaky. "Okay, let's maybe talk about the positive work Archwell's doing, like the mental health initiatives." But her words were drowned out by the growing murmur of the audience. Marcus, the comedian, leaned forward, attempting levity. "Man, I need a drink just watching this." A few chuckles broke the tension, but they faded fast. Meghan's eyes flicked to the audience, then back to Tamron. Her posture was regal, but her trembling lip betrayed a storm of emotions. "Archwell is a mission, not a monarchy," she said, her voice rising. "We employ real people, with real challenges, and we're building something meaningful. To take one disgruntled voice and weaponize it? That's not accountability, it's sabotage." The studio was electric now, the audience split, some nodding in solidarity, others whispering skeptically. A man in the back row held up his phone, live streaming to thousands online. The producers in the control room were in full panic mode, one barking into a headset. "Do we cut to commercial? This is going viral." The stage manager hovered near the exit, unsure whether to signal security. Hook alert! Just when you think Meghan's holding her ground, Tamron pulls out an even more personal attack, one that digs into Meghan's royal past and threatens to unravel her composure completely. What's the accusation, and how will it change the game? Keep reading, because this twist will leave you floored. And if you're loving this drama, hit that subscribe button. We drop stories like this every week to keep you glued to your screen. Tamron, sensing the moment's weight, doubled down. She shuffled her note cards, her eyes gleaming with the confidence of a host who knew she was making headlines. "Let's pivot to something closer to home, then. In your memoir, you talk about breaking free from the royal family's constraints. But some say you've traded one cage for another, using your title for clout while distancing yourself from the duties. Is Duchess just a brand now?" The question was a gut punch. The audience fell deathly silent, the kind of quiet where you could hear the faint buzz of the overhead lights. Lisa's jaw dropped, and Marcus muttered under his breath, "Oh damn." Meghan's face hardened, but her eyes glistened, anger, hurt, or both. She leaned forward, her voice steady but laced with fire. "Tamron, my title is part of my story, not my identity. I've never used it for clout. I've used it to amplify voices that need to be heard. You're twisting my life into a soundbite, and that's beneath you." The crowd erupted, half cheering, half murmuring in shock. A young woman in the front row wiped away a tear, clearly moved by Meghan's defiance. The cameras zoomed in, capturing the raw intensity in her expression. Tamron, for the first time, looked rattled, her fingers gripping her note cards a little too tightly. "I'm not twisting anything, Meghan. I'm reflecting what the public sees, a woman who left a historic institution but still leans on its prestige." That was the moment the air shifted. Meghan stood, her movements slow and deliberate, the click of her heels echoing in the silent studio. The audience held its breath. Was she walking out? The producers froze, one whispering, "She can't leave now." The stage manager signaled to security, who lingered at the edges, unsure of their role. Interactive question: have you ever felt cornered by someone twisting your words? Is Meghan right to stand her ground, or should she answer Tamron's questions head on? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this conversation going. Meghan didn't leave, not yet. Instead, she turned to the audience, her voice steady but thick with emotion. I came here to talk about my work, my truth. But this isn't about truth for some, it's about clicks, headlines, and tearing people down. I've faced that before, and I'm done letting it define me. She paused, her gaze sweeping the crowd, connecting with every pair of eyes. You deserve better than this. We all do. The studio exploded in applause, but it was fractured. Some stood clapping fiercely, while others sat stone-faced, unsure who to back. Tamron tried to regain control, her voice cutting through. Meghan, we're just having a conversation. If you can't handle the heat. Handle the heat? Meghan interrupted, her voice now a controlled blaze. This isn't heat, Tamron. This is you crossing a line. You don't get to rewrite my story to fit your narrative. She took a step toward the exit, then stopped, turning back to the audience. If you want to know who I am, read my book. Talk to the communities we serve. Don't let someone else's agenda tell you what to think. The studio was chaos now, applause, boos, and shouts blending into a cacophony. Lisa jumped in, her voice desperate. Meghan, please, let's talk about the good you're doing. But it was too late. Meghan gave a final, dignified nod to the crowd, her eyes glistening but her chin high, and walked off stage. The click of her heels was the only sound as the cameras followed her exit, the audience in stunned silence. Hook alert! Did Meghan just walk away for good, or is there one final bombshell waiting to drop? And what does Tamron do when the tables turn on her? You won't believe the fallout coming next. Stay tuned for part 3, because this story is about to go viral in ways no one saw coming. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. You don't want to miss the climax of this television showdown. The aftermath was immediate. As Meghan disappeared behind the curtains, the audience buzzed, phones lighting up social media with clips and hot takes. Hashtag Meghan vs. Tamron was trending within minutes, with comments ranging from, "She owned that," to, "Tamron went too far." The producers scrambled, one yelling, "Get her back for the next segment," while another argued to cut to commercial. Tamron sat back, her face a mask of professionalism, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of doubt. Had she pushed too far? Interactive question: who's in the right here? Did Meghan overreact, or was Tamron's line of questioning unfair? Share your take in the comments, and let's see what you think. The studio was a pressure cooker as Meghan Markle's exit left everyone stunned. Phones lit up with hashtag Meghan vs. Tamron trending worldwide, clips of her fiery words. "Don't let someone else's agenda tell you what to think," spreading like wildfire. Tamron Hall, usually unshakable, gripped her notes, her red blazer creased, her eyes betraying unease. Producers scrambled, one yelling, "Get her back," while another demanded a commercial break. The audience buzzed, divided, some cheering Meghan, others backing Tamron's tough questions. This wasn't over yet, and what happened next would go down in TV history. Stick around, the final twist will shock you. Tamron regained control, addressing the crowd. "This show's about real talk, even when it's messy. We'll be back." The audience clapped uneasily. Lisa, the co-host, fidgeted, mumbling, "Can we talk about her book now?" Marcus, the comedian, quipped, "This is wilder than my last Tinder date." A few laughs broke the tension, but it didn't last. Backstage, Meghan reached the green room, her heels clicking. Producer Carla pleaded, "Meghan, please come back." Meghan's eyes flashed. "I came to share my story, not be ambushed. I'm done." Her voice softened. "Tell them to read my book for the truth." Hook alert, think Meghan's gone for good. A surprise voice changes everything. Who is it, and what's their move? Don't stop now, this flips the script. Subscribe for more drama like this. The show resumed. Tamron, with a tight smile, said, "Meghan's passionate, but is walking away accountability?" Lisa pushed back. "Some questions felt like attacks." Marcus added, "Tamron, you went full Sherlock." The crowd chuckled nervously. Then, a woman in a yellow sweater stood up. "Tamron, I'm a therapist. You laid traps, not questions. Meghan's book is about healing, Why not focus there? The studio erupted. Cheers, boos, chaos. Cameras zoomed in as Tamron faltered. Lisa clapped. Exactly! Marcus grinned. Audience stealing the show! Interactive question. Was the audience member right to call Tamron out, or was she out of line? Comment below. Tamron tried to pivot, but the stage manager whispered urgently. Meghan's back. The crowd gasped as Meghan reappeared, standing tall in her black dress. Tamron, she said, voice steady. I believe in dialogue, not drama. You judged my life instead of listening. That's not truth, it's storytelling. Turning to the audience, she added, I'm human. I make mistakes. But I won't let anyone rewrite my story. Read my book, meet our communities, see the truth for yourself. Tamron started to respond, but Meghan cut in. Your platform's powerful, Tamron. Use it to lift up, not tear down. She walked off to roaring applause, some standing, others silent. The cameras caught every second. Hook alert, the show's done, but the fallout's just starting. How will this change Tamron's career? Stay tuned for the epilogue's big twist. Subscribe now, you won't want to miss it. The studio was chaos as the show ended. Tamron's hands shook slightly, Lisa and Marcus speechless. Hashtag Meghan vs. Tamron hit #1 globally, clips racking up millions of views. Meghan's memoir soared to bestseller status, her speech sparking debates on media ethics. Tamron faced backlash. Some praised her grit, others slammed her ambush tactics. The audience member, Dr. Aisha Carter, became an advocate for mental health and media fairness. Tamron tweeted a defense. Real talk isn't always easy. I'll reflect on your feedback. Her ratings spiked, but so did calls for empathy. Meghan's Archwell work continued, stronger than ever. The moment became a media ethics case study, accountability or ambush? Interactive question. Who won, Meghan, Tamron, or Dr. Carter? What would you do in Meghan's shoes? Comment and subscribe for more. The lesson: power demands responsibility. Meghan's stand showed authenticity trumps sensationalism. So, who was right? Share your take below.